Hello, here we are again. Very happy to be with you guys live on our Wednesday FB. So, as we always do this, please feel free to post any of your questions. We're going to talk about body care products today and how they affect our health and how they can actually cause diseases. So many of the chronic diseases these days have so many different causes, and one of them definitely is body care products. So feel free to post your comments here as we go, and I would be happy to answer them towards the end of it. Hi, Kiran, how are you? Happy to see you here. So, there are many number of body products that most of us use, right? Starting from toothpaste. We wake up in the morning, we use toothpaste, we use toothbrushes, we use oral wash or oral rinse, and then we take a shower, we use shampoos, conditioners, body wash, soaps, and then for men it's after shave, shaving creams, even for women, and then cosmetics in case of women, lotions, and all kinds of things, right? I mean, if you just think about how many body care products that we use in a day, our minds will be blown. We don't even pay attention to them some of the times. We just actually use them, and we don't know what's in them. One of the things that we have started doing in our case taking, when you are a patient of ours, is we actually ask what are the body care products that you use, like what brands you use for each one of those things, and we try to give you a recommendation sheet about what are the things that you want to use, because we have all seen this epidemic. Everybody knows somebody with cancer. Everybody knows somebody with chronic conditions like autoimmune disorders, fibromyalgia, lupus, dementia, Alzheimer's. So many of us know so many people who are ill, and it has become actually such a common thing nowadays that people are ill. It's not so common to be healthy. It's more common to be ill, and that has actually become our new normal. So, and of course, that doesn't mean that it's normal, right? So I definitely wanted to talk about this because so many of these body care products that we use are truly poisoning us or causing us chronic diseases. There are many of them that are carcinogenic, which means that they have cancer-causing agents in them. Many of them are endocrine disruptors. What that means is they can cause hormonal problems. Hypothyroidism is the number one disease in women, and that is not good. That's terrible. And infertility is becoming much more common than it ever has been, despite the population explosion that we have, that women are not able to conceive the first time, or men are having more sterility issues and so on and so forth, because there are endocrine disruptors in our body care products. They are in our cooking cookwares, and they are in our clothes. They are in so many different places. So we need to become aware of these things. We have to choose better product for ourselves. I wanted to actually bring up some of them to you, so you actually at least have an idea of what are the things that are causing problems. There are many, many different chemicals out there that should not be used. There are ones that are forming the suds in your shampoo, in the liquid soap, even hand wash that we use, or even toothpaste that produces suds. There is something called as 1,4-dioxane, and this is actually not, most of the time it's not listed at all in our ingredient labels. And so even if I give you some of these names, you may not even be able to find them in your products, because some of them don't have to be listed. They are not even required to be listed, even though they can cause cancers. So I just wanted to think about it for a minute, right? So we have products that may have things that is not even listed, but can actually cause diseases for us as well as for our family, and we have no idea. And of course, this is not really a good thing, right? Because why would we want to put these things on us? The reason why we use them is because, we want to be hygienic, we want to be clean, but at the same time, we don't want to be causing diseases to ourselves. So many things that actually causes suds have 1,4-dioxane. And then there are acrylates, which are actually most commonly present in artificial nail care products. So if you're one person who goes and gets artificial nails done at a salon, this is one product that is definitely there in those. And these are actually really, really bad as well. They're endocrine disruptors. So if someone goes to a nail salon often to get their nails done, this can actually be a big problem for you. It can cause, if you have hormonal disorders, if you have hypothyroidism, if you have Hashimoto's, you should really try and avoid these kinds of things. There are some safe companies out there that make nail products that you can take with you to the nail salon and get it done if you need to, or you can do it at home if you absolutely have to. But it's very important that we pay attention to these kinds of things now. And then there are things called as benzophenols, and there are some related compounds to that as well. And this is a chemical that's linked to cancer as well. And this is actually in our nail polish, in lip balm, sometimes even lipsticks. So we need to be careful about that. There are products called as carbon black, and this one has also been linked to cancer. And this is in eyeliners, mascara, lipsticks, things that are actually the dark black powder. So if we use anything like dark colored lipsticks or the black eyeliners and mascaras, we need to be using safe products. Of course, we'll actually talk about what are the safe products, but I just wanted you to know these things that exist. And there are carcinogens in cosmetics, and I don't know how many of you know this, but there is Teflon in many of the mineral powders or cosmetics, like the foundations and so on and so forth. They have Teflon in them. So how there are many products that are actually used for anti-aging, or even to actually give like a sheer look to our skin, makes it look smooth and clean and all of that. And they actually have Teflon in them, and or PFEE. And this has been linked to cancer, and we are putting it on our skin. So I just want you to know that. And a lot of people now are actually more aware of Teflon causing cancer. So people are not using Teflon, but they don't know that this actually is in their cosmetics and they're still using it. So I just wanted to bring your awareness into that, so you would actually be more aware of what kinds of products to use. And there is also formaldehyde and many kinds of preservatives in many shampoos and conditioners and many other bad products as well, because this is a lot of things, even when they are natural and so on and so forth, they need to be preserved. Otherwise, how do they actually stay long on a shelf for a while? So they need to have some kind of preservative. So they add formaldehyde as a preservative, and that one is not good as well, and that's also cancer causing. And anytime I think about formaldehyde, I often think about my medical school. Most people who have gone to medical school know this, that formaldehyde is used to preserve a cadaver, a dead body. So as soon as you enter the dissection lab or the anatomy lab, where we dissect the human body to learn, there's this strong smell of formaldehyde. And before you know what chemical it is, your mind registers or your brain registers that smell with something that is just repulsive. Okay, so when I was looking into all of these chemicals that causes diseases in people, formaldehyde was something that actually came up to me. It's used as preservative even for the human body, so to preserve the human body. And this is also used in many of our bad products. And of course, fragrance. This is a huge one. Perfumes. If you use many of these chemical-based perfumes actually don't even have to tell you what kind of things they have in the fragrance, like, because it's considered as copyright or patent, so they don't even have to actually exactly say what is in them. And many of them are endocrine disruptors. It is really, really, really bad. And this is not just in perfumes, but also in many lotions, shampoos, conditioners, and so on and so forth. That fragrance does not have to be labeled at all, and that's not a good idea. And then of course we have many heavy metals, lead and other many heavy metals, specifically in lipsticks, as well as there are some of them are in whitening toothpaste, nail colors, anything that's actually colored. They have these kinds of heavy metals. And heavy metals are a big problem because heavy metals accumulate in our system over a period of time, and they're very, very difficult to get rid of from our tissues. I mean, we have so many patients with autoimmune disorders and they have such high heavy metals. And many of us are also non-excretors, or they are not very good at detoxifying their bodies. And that is the reason why we see such a big bump in the amount of chronic diseases in this world right now. So obviously we don't want to be purposely putting in, other than the things that are automatically coming into our life through so many means that we are not able to prevent. We don't want to be putting them in our body purposely, intentionally. One other thing, as we're talking about this, I wanted to bring is that, our webinar last week was absolutely wonderful. All of our people who actually participated in it were just amazing. They were asking questions, and we had such a great time learning together. So that webinar now is actually available for you to own. So you guys can actually definitely contact us, and we'll be able to let you know how to own it. We'll also have it on our website soon, where you can actually order it from our website itself, but it's not yet ready for that. But you can, in the meantime, you can always call our office, and you can own it for a very small cost. It is a wealth of information. Of course, we bring this for you, but that we have gone into the depth of what constitutes health and what are the different things that our body needs in order for us to be healthy. And one of the things that I talk about there is detoxification. And this is not something that a lot of people are not doing well. And this is the reason why we have such a big epidemic of chronic diseases, including cancer. So, which means that we want to limit the toxins that are going into our body as much as possible. So, and these are some of the things that are absolutely big, chemical contributors in our day-to-day. We don't even realize how many we are putting in on our skin, on our hair, on every single part of the body. Even for that matter, let's talk about the female sanitary products. Feminine hygiene products, they are actually huge as well. There are so many of them that contain so many chemicals, and we are putting them in very intimate parts which can absorb all kinds of chemicals into the hormone producing glands directly. And then we wonder why there are so many women who have period related problems. So tampons, pads, all of these are contaminated with so many chemicals just because they have to look a certain way or they have to behave a certain way. So I want you to be aware of these kinds of things. I'm going to give you some recommendations here. And one other product I want to talk about before we go on to the recommendations is hydroquinone. Hydroquinone is something that there are products that are available over the counter, which is 2% or so. They are skin lightening products. So if there are any scars, or if there are any spots that have been left behind, discoloration that's been left behind from acne and so on and so forth, young women, because of acne, they actually start using hydroquinone, and it's also prescribed at 4% by dermatologists, because all we care about is what? The way we look, right? We don't really care about what happens internally. And this is actually one of the most notorious ones because it causes organ system toxicity. It is not just limited to, this one particular thing. It is actually entire body, every single organ can become toxic from hydroquinone. That's really how bad it is. And then, it is also one of the agents that are linked to cancer. So you can understand how many things that are surrounding us and we don't even think about it. We just get them, put it on us. We look good, we feel good. We don't think about what are the things that we need to do from internally to look good, because that's possible, right? So looking good has nothing to do with external. Looking good has to do with the internal world. What we put in here, how much water we drink, how our lymphatic system is processing, how we are pooping every day, how you're sweating, how you are detoxifying. And if we actually pay attention to those kinds of things, obviously, the skin will automatically look better, look good. And so let's start focusing there rather than just the outside, because we are actually causing ourselves more harm in trying to look good. So to learn more about this, there is actually an organization called as Safe Cosmetics. It is a non-profit organization. There is a website called as safecosmetics.org, and there is also another website called as madesafe.org. And these are actually companies that this is an organization that actually is constantly trying to do work, take action, and do regulations, and talk about all the major companies that are actually not following these regulations and how bad it really is. So they are actually one for campaigning for safe cosmetics, and Made Safe has all kinds of recommendations for different kinds of products, like bath products, for what else? Sanitary products, even mattresses for that matter, because these are all things that we use around us, in and around, all day long, every day in our houses. And even children are actually exposed to so many chemicals as soon as they are born, just because we are not aware. So for toothpaste, one of the things that we use in like in our practice, like all of us, we use in my household, we use is Dental Herb Company. Their toothpaste, it doesn't really sud as much at all, and a lot of times people think, oh, it doesn't sud, it doesn't actually produce as much foam, and that's because it doesn't have those kinds of chemicals that actually produces suds, and they are not necessary to clean as well. Okay, that's actually such a myth we have, that in order for us to clean we need to have a lot of suds, and that's not true. So safecosmetics.org and madesafe.org. These are the two websites I would highly recommend. Of course, if you are one of our patients, we also have a recommendation list for different kinds of products. If you would like to get a list of that recommendation, that sheet, then please feel free to contact our office, and we'll be happy to send them to you. It is, it contains all kinds of different things, even water and so on and so forth in there. So I'm ready to answer all the questions that you have. So I'm going to go over the questions. If you have any questions, feel free to type them on here, please. Dr. Bronner's toothpaste, a good choice. Kids use coconut oil dipped toothbrush with small amounts of Bronner's. So yes, Bronner's is a good brand. I would still look at all the ingredients of it. Look at all the, I cannot recall from the top of my head what are the ingredients in it. You can actually go to safecosmetics.org and cross-refer the label of Bronner's and look at all the ones that are actually considered as not good from that. And they even actually have a page on the safecosmetics.org where it is called as Get the Facts. And on there, it actually talks about specifically the different ones that are really, really bad, And there is also another page there about the big 7 companies which actually make cosmetics. And so there is different categories in which it shows what are the bad ones for each category. So bad products, which are the top ones that you want to really avoid. So I would highly recommend each and every single one of you to look at your bad products, to look at every single product that you use today, and go to this website and look at all these products and check, cross-check, and see what are the products that has it. If there are ones that are there that are not good for you, please discard them. You are not doing yourself any service by using these products. Even if you paid money for it, you have to understand that you all pay money for many things, but at the same time, we cannot buy health with money. The reason why you're here, you are listening to this, is because you know how important health is. So for the sake of your health, for the sake of your family's health, do not take this lightly. You're putting this every day on you. It has a cumulative effect on our system. I use Native Deo, Jason's Bath Gels, Kirk's Castile Soap. So Castile Soap is good. One thing that I would say about the Castile Soap is definitely use it with glycerin, vegetable glycerin, because otherwise it actually has a very drying effect. And a lot of people think that, oh, I have very dry skin, they're using Castile Soap and it's really drying their skin, and they don't really understand that. Okay, so pure soap will dry your skin. Okay, so use with glycerin. I personally don't really use soap at all, so that's just me though. So each, one can actually choose whatever. Yes, so there is also thank you, Kiran, for reminding me. There is an app called as Think Dirty. You can actually download that app on your phone, and you can actually put your products, and then it will, pop up whether this product is good, what is the rating on that product, and so on and so forth. And you can actually really, get rid of so many of the bad products that you use, even without having to cross-check yourself. So Think Dirty is a really good app for that. Okay. Hi, Tasneem. The website is safecosmetics.org and Made Safe, MADE safe.org. Those are the two websites. And Think Dirty, that is the name of the app. You can definitely download that app. It's a really, really good app. Okay. So thank you so much for your time. If you don't have any more questions for me, I'm going to sign off and we'll come back next week with a brand new topic. Okay. Until then, adios.